Hey YouTube, this is Ryan Silver here. Today I'm going to be showing you how to clean a sword. Regular maintenance is one of the most important things that you can ever do in owning a sword, and it gets more important the better sword that you have. The sword that I'm showing you today is just a normal sword. It's not my best. It's a 440 stainless steel sword with black lacquer. Important things that you have to know about this: with a lacquer sword, it looks pretty, and if you want to keep it that way, don't touch it like I'm going to. I don't really care about this sword. It's cheap, picked it up cheap, and in the next sword I'm going to show you, I won't be touching the lacquer at all with my hands. The oils and minerals in your hand will degrade the lacquer completely, and we'll show you some pictures that this sheath has a whole bunch of fingerprint stains and spots and everything else from me touching it all the time. So, the tools of the trade for this video that you need for cleaning a sword. First off, rice paper. You need this. This will get rid of any debris, any leftover oil from the last cleaning, any wood chips that come from the sheath that are breaking off. Especially with this sword, because the sheath is not well prepared. The next thing you're going to need is the powder ball. This is also known as uchiko in the Japanese term, as in the powder. You will need this. It's a light abrasive powder for polishing, and it will also cover up very light scratches and stuff like that. You need an oil. This is clove oil. It comes with any standard cleaning kit that you can buy. It is very good for swords, and it lasts for quite a while. It's a very high grade oil. Let's get started cleaning this sword. As you can see, there's a lot of dust on here, a couple wood chips from the sheath, and well, it doesn't look all that bad, but there's a lot of dust. So we want to take our rice paper, get it right from the base of the blade, and wipe that all down. Wipe it all off. Show you at the back of the blade. Now, next step is we take our powder ball. Now, the traditional style states that you use a lot more than I do. Traditional style, they'll cover the entire blade with powder. I only like to give it about 3 or 4 thwops, good thwops, so you can get adequate powder, but you don't want to use too much. So just tradition states that you would powder both sides of the blade and then wipe it down 3 times in a manner that I just did before. My way is a little bit more thorough. I like to buff my blades, making sure the powder gets adequate depth into the blade and gets the same measure of powder throughout. So I'll take my rice paper and I'll just kind of buff it in. Give it 3 more good wallops, 4 good wallops, whatever you decide. Now, if you don't like using the opposite hand, you can do it upside down. I'm pretty good opposite handed, so I can do it both ways. It doesn't bother me. So sure you get all the way down to the base of the blade. And want to make sure there's a good even coat of powder. You don't want any left. And make sure you touch up the back of the blade. The next step is to take your oil. Traditionally, you would soak a thing of rice paper in your oil, and you would wipe it then 3 times across the entire length of the blade. That can be done. It's a little bit wasteful on the oil, and for those of you with low finances like I am, you might want to use a different method where, similar to what I just did, you just take a couple beads of oil and you drop it along the length of the blade. You can use this little cap that comes with the oil as a dosage kit. That'll give you 3 good dollops. You then take, and I like, same as before, I like to just lightly buff it in, make sure there's a good even coat, and then wipe it down. Make sure there isn't too much at the hilt, and you're all good. Switch sides. Make sure you get the back of the blade, always important. The back of the blade can rust just like any other part of the blade. And in high grade swords, the back of the blade is one of the most important parts because that will absorb the shock when you hit. So you want to keep that good and strong. Now, it's very important after this step that you do not touch the blade. The oils in your hands, just like the lacquer, will ruin